I had quite a strange day, so I thought it would be a nice evening to sit down and do a video to share. I have to admit, I have been through a lot. I have been through a lot. Things that, no one should have to endure or deal with throughout their lifetime. I would like to start with 2014. Early 2014, I went to a doctor. Back then, I was experiencing a lot of back pain due to the cold. So I'm from a really warm environment and moved to a cold place where you actually get snow in the winter. So that caused me a lot of muscle pain, muscle spasm and stuff like that. And so I was going to a chiropractor to manage that. And unfortunately, my back got worse. When I was in high school, they told me I had fibromyalgia or something because I was experiencing a lot of just general pain in my back. There was really no cure, no healing for it. The only temporary relief I got was going to the chiropractor or doing massage or massage therapy. While I was at school, I ended up going to this chiropractor because my regular chiropractor wasn't available to see me that day. And it was a terrible mistake because after that, when I got home, I was in so much pain. I felt like, blood was dripping along my spine and stuff like that. It felt so horrible. But since it was my only time going there, I never went back. I only went there because my chiropractor wasn't able to see me and I was in so much pain. I felt like I really needed some help to get through the day. I never went back. My pain got worse and I really couldn't function at school anymore. So I ended up moving back home. From that day on, I was with that pain and it progressively got worse for 4 years. It was absolutely horrible. Just, you know, I don't even want to go back and think to that time because my pain was so terrible. I was in pain while I was awake, while I was sleeping, all the time, 24/7. But nobody could help me. My parents couldn't help. I went from doctors to doctors. They couldn't help. I was getting frustrated because I couldn't find a solution to the problem. And so about halfway through my 2 years later from the time I got injured, I ended up deciding to pack my stuff and just move. I ended up moving to California all by myself, just me and my dog, or my dog and I, whichever one that one is. But anyway, so just the two of us. I went there. I was so frustrated, so unhappy, and I was just like, I have to figure out how to fix this issue. And I just couldn't be around the people that were around me anymore, and nobody was able to help me figure out what was wrong. So I left. I ended up going to California. I spent majority of my time going to the gym. I started going to the gym like constantly. I was always at the gym, like on average 4 or 5 hours a day at the gym, 7 days a week, because that's the only time I got relief. And so I would go to the gym. I'd feel better throughout the night for a few hours, sometimes for 2 days. So that was really important for me. I spent a lot of time at the gym. It would be 4 in the morning, I'd be at the gym because it made me feel better. I had a really challenging time in California because I was all by myself. I had my dog. Sometimes I couldn't get out of bed, and so I had to work too. But some days when I didn't work, I just felt like staying in bed. And the only thing that would get me out of bed was to get my dog out or, you know, to take her to the park. Otherwise, I didn't get out of bed. My pain was so horrible. Yeah, I faced a lot of challenges while in California. It was so terrible, and I felt so alone. I mean, I managed, of course. I'm here, I managed, I did okay, but at the same time, I was very isolated, and I didn't have any other choice because the only thing I could focus and think of was fixing my problem. And even over there, I was going in and out of doctor's office, in and out of massage, out of acupuncture. I actually went to an acupuncturist once. It was so horrible. It was sort of my first time, and she had put so many needles in my back that my body got shocked, and I thought I was gonna die. She thought I was gonna die. She started crying, but it was, my pain was just horrible, and no doctor, nobody. I was going to orthopedic doctors and physical therapy. Nobody could figure out exactly what was wrong with me, and that was just so frustrating for me. I would drive so far, like from Southern California to Northern California for treatment, and all my money pretty much went to that. But I thought that maybe the doctors would have been able to, the traditional MD or orthopedic doctor would have been able to diagnose me and figure out what's wrong. At some point, I thought, if I have to get surgery, I'll get it. When I was seeing the orthopedic doctor, I was ready to get surgery because at that point I was in so much pain. And the other horrible thing is that they don't the doctors don't give you medication. The whole time I was sick for those 4 years, I never got medication until the last month of being able to figure out what was wrong with me and fixing it. I ended up it's so hard to put into words and truly describe to you the in and out of doctor's office idea. It's like I was constantly going through and seeing, okay, maybe he can help me, maybe she can help me, he'll do it, she'll do it. And it just took this whole 4 years to figure it out. And in the end, the gym truly is what helped me to figure out my problem, because I found somebody at the gym that gave me a referral for someone that was able to fix my issue. In the end, I ended up finding a doctor that specializes in active release technique, and he, my problem was along my spine. I knew it. I would have chest pain. The pain was primarily in my in between my vertebrae and my shoulder blade, so closer to my spine but up where my shoulder blade is, and it was so unbearable. So this guy, doctor, ended up working on me, doing massage and stuff like that. I did cupping. I also did acupuncture with him too. So those things combined, he figured out how to get my pain to be better. The root of my problem was that I had a pinched nerve. So this pinched nerve was being crushed by my vertebrae, and I tried all that I could at the gym to be able, I knew, I had a sense of what my problem is, because I would try to, hang on the, machines there so that I could decompress myself, if that's the word, to be able to stretch myself, and it just never helped. I needed somebody to help me with that, and it was truly torture to be able to fix my back, because it was no joke. He would just get in there and like to put enough space between my vertebrae to allow the nerve to free itself. It was, crazy. I cried twice. Yeah. When I went to treatment, I was always pretty good. Somehow, having the pinched nerve made my pain threshold like insanely high. I could handle a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And then after my pinched nerve got fixed, I couldn't handle as much pressure anymore. But he would be pushing in there to be able to put enough space between the vertebrae to allow the nerve to free itself. But it worked. It worked. This happened. I started seeing him by December of 2017 is when I started feeling much better, and then by January of 2018 I felt much better, maybe like 75%, which was really amazing for me because before I was constantly in pain and stuff like that. And during this whole time I had other stuff going on. So during this whole time of going to the gym, I had this idea that maybe I could compete in bodybuilding, because I had amazing strength from this pinch nerve. It was crazy. I could lift. I tried to have fun, just push myself. I was lifting, but whenever I would try to cut down, I would feel absolutely horrible because then there wasn't any fat to cushion the nerve. Then the vertebrae were just crashing onto it. So I could never cut down enough to be able to make it to this stage. And that was really frustrating for me because I thought I'm gonna give it all my might. I'm gonna push myself and try to find a solution to this problem. But in the back of my mind, I never truly believed that I would find a solution to the problem. I would say, like, I just have to keep pushing, but I didn't believe that I would find the solution to the problem. At the same time, I knew I couldn't die like this, like, I couldn't live the rest of my life with this pain. And in the end, I couldn't lift my right arm. I was getting paralyzed and not feeling, having any feeling on my right arm. I couldn't lift it up over my head. Truly, if you are going through a really hard time, you're sick, you're not feeling well, you're gonna want to give up, but keep hanging in there and keep pushing, because I know, like, I was at my last rope when my pinched nerve got released. I was really at my last rope, like my last end. And then a miracle happened. It was truly a miracle. I was just like, wow, I'm not in pain anymore. This is crazy, It was truly crazy. In the process of all this, at the very end, I learned that I had to go get an MRI. I learned that I have scoliosis, so my spine is not straight. I was very angry because I had gone to many hospital visits and doctor's visits in the time since my pain started. And I always wondered, how come nobody caught it? Because I would go to the hospital in the emergency room because of chest pain, and nobody told me that I had scoliosis. And maybe they did. I just didn't pay close attention to it because the pain was so bad. I just wanted a solution to the pain that I was experiencing. So I'm not exactly sure. I've tried getting my records from the various hospitals to see, where did I go wrong, or where did the doctors and nurses go wrong, because I didn't find out until the very end, and 4 years had passed already. So that took too long. But I did find out that I had scoliosis, and it is in my upper back. My curve is exactly around the area where my pinched nerve was. So I think what happened is that this particular chiropractor that I went to used a device on me, and this device is electronic. Um, and whenever you're using devices, you never know, anything can happen because they're vibrating and they're not stable enough. So, if you are seeing a chiropractor, going to a chiropractor, it's one thing to consider that, it's better to use your hand than to use machines. It's gonna be different for everyone, but that's just my experience. And actually, I recently went to a chiropractor again because even though my pain got fixed in January, I was experiencing what's the word? I was having discomfort up to June of last year. I tried to go to the gym. I was experiencing chest pain and throat pain, so I stopped going because I was just like, going to the gym is not fun anymore. As I was saying previously, when I was going to the gym, I had like a lot of energy, a lot of power, I could lift and stuff like that. And then last year, after the pinched nerve got released, I couldn't lift anymore. I was just like, this is crap. I was so unhappy. I didn't like it at all. And so I stopped going to the gym. But something happened. I ended up moving. So when I got here, I signed up for the gym again, even though I still had the same issue. But I knew, maybe I can say I was at 85% at that point. When I moved here, I was at 85%. And so I was just like, I have to go to the gym, even though it sucks, it hurts, I'm gonna go to the gym. And so I felt like I was still experiencing pain. I decided to go to a chiropractor. So, it's not bad. Sometimes we have bad experiences with doctors, and it's just that. So I ended up going to a chiropractor again, and guess what? I got there and I told him I was just terrified to go there because I knew my problem initially started with the chiropractor. So I told him that I was terrified about him touching me, but I had no choice but to come in because I don't feel well and maybe I can get better. So he tried to explain to me that, he will do the best he can, that he wouldn't intentionally hurt me. But with the way my curve looks on my x-ray, it made me terrified to have the way my x-ray looks, the way my spine looks on the x-ray made me terrified to have somebody touch me, especially considering the fact that this chiropractor did not look at an x-ray of my spine prior to touching me. So he just told me, just trust me, just trust me. And so I was just like, okay. So I went for it and he adjusted me. And fortunately, so what I told him, I had been experiencing lower back pain. So what I told him, since I felt 75 to 80%, 85% okay in my upper area, I told him, only adjust my lower back, don't adjust my upper back. And so he was just like, that's, you can't do that. He gave me an explanation. I can't remember exactly right now, but it's like you can't do one part and not do the other. I have to, adjust your entire spine. So I was just like, okay. And I was terrified. But fortunately, he adjusted me and my back got so much better. The next day, I could breathe. I felt so relieved. Seriously. So, since that time that I got adjusted, um, I have not had upper chest area pain. My spine doesn't hurt anymore. I felt like I was breaking. So my curve, I have scoliosis. So my curve is sort of like this, you know, like this. And so I feel like, you know, if I'm leaning or if I'm turning, like I felt like I was breaking. And I don't have that feeling anymore. I can move, you know, I can do things. So I'm so happy that I took the chance to um, go there and get further help because um, you know, despite all the work that this doctor did with me in California, I wasn't at 100%. And even now, I'm not at 100%. Now I tell people, I think I'm at 95%. It's funny. I think I'm at 95%. So that's not bad. Going from 0 to 95%, or you know, from where I was at 75 to 85% to 95% is amazing. So I feel good. I feel really good. Um yeah, so but for those 4 years I couldn't concentrate on anything else other than figuring out how to fix my pain. Anyway, so I do have to mention in that time also my mom passed away, so that was really hard for me. And actually, that was the hardest time for me during my illness because when my mom passed away, I couldn't breathe at all. I couldn't breathe at all, and she's out of the country, so I had to pack my stuff and go home, and it was just miserable. But I did it. I survived it. I pushed myself. I was just like, okay, you know, it's not like you have somebody that's gonna come help you to pack your stuff. I was all by myself. I met a few people there that were nice that visited, but then I think my pain got so bad that I ended up isolating myself a lot because I had to think, you know, okay, what am I doing next to make myself better? And luckily, nobody took it personally out of the people that I knew there. I tried to keep in touch and talk to people because, you know, I just tell them, I am so sorry. I like dropped off the map because I was going through a lot of pain. And I think people can understand that. That was a really hard time for me, and I am really amazed at how far I've come since I left and went to California. Really, I'm really amazed. So, you know, if you're in pain, if you're struggling, just keep pushing, you know. I could have like given up so many times, but I'd be like, okay, I'm in pain. What do? I would just go to the gym. And one of the reasons why I am sharing this is because I still go to the gym. So since the chiropractor fixed, you know, adjusted my spine, and I've felt better, I've been going to the gym every day consistently and feel absolutely amazing. I've made a lot of progress. When I started, I wasn't eating as much, and then I decided that I would do a show sort of in April. So I've been working really hard. I found out that I needed to gain more weight, so I've been working on that, and it's been going good. It's been going really well. So hopefully when April comes, I'll be able to have abs and look absolutely amazing, and um, hopefully inspire people because, you know, we go through these hardships to be able to share because I know I'm not the only one. I met other people while I was in California that had similar issues to me, and they couldn't find the solution to their problem either. So, you know, I tried to share online, so that people might be able to find help. So it was a lot of issue. It's very complicated, but I am so happy to be where I am right now. um, I'm so proud of myself that I didn't give up on myself, you know, because um, honestly, I think a lot of people gave up on me, because when you're in pain, you're complaining. That's all I would talk about. I would hang out with my friends, and whoever I meet, that's all I would talk about, in hopes that somebody would say, oh, you know what, I have this referral, I know this person that might be able to help you. um and people can get tired of it, so don't get discouraged by that. Keep pushing, keep working for yourself, and find the solution to your problem. But anyway, so I will continue to work on myself. um I will be posting videos of my workouts, of you know, sharing stuff with you, and hopefully I will make lots of progress by April, and that all will go well. Wish me lots of luck.